I love the lights. It's bright. It makes you want to, talk more and all of that.
Check.
Oh, you're just like, everybody's podcasting. Let me just go and start talking. If you have such a podcast and it's from a men's perspective.
The male infertility. All right. How are you doing today, Moremi?
It's been a long day. Really long. But we thank God we're still alive and breathing, kicking. Yeah.
Just like you and I and a lot of people, podcasting is still, new. We listen to podcasts. Me particularly, I love podcasts about business because you find that a lot of the time we're trying to create something, and I personally feel that the easiest way to create something is to look for people who have done it and then try to find out how they did it rather than trying to, reinvent the wheel. What's your experience like with podcasting?
Well, I would say not everybody should be a podcaster. I feel like at the moment it's oversaturated and people who don't necessarily have that skill for communications are in it. It's like everyone has a podcast. Find a unique selling point. Don't just say, because one person is talking about this, you're going to jump on the bandwagon. It's like I see a big trend of podcasts that talk about relationships, from the Nigerian context. And there's also a trend of podcasts where, of course, women are talking about their fertility journeys, IVF and all of those other very important topics that, of course, people should be talking about. But right now, there are too many of them. So if you're going to do that, find a unique selling point. So if you're talking about, fertility, starting families, etc., what would be really dope is if you find a guy that can talk honestly and candidly about it. Let's say he was facing fertility struggles and he overcame it and all of that journey. I'm telling you, if you have such a podcast and it's from a men's perspective.
The male infertility. It's kind of like people have come to the point where they were like, okay, it's not a big deal for a woman to be infertile. It's almost like it's expected that when you have a couple who are struggling to have children, it's almost the fault of the woman. And it's easier for it to be that way than for it to be the fault of the man, because as an African man, you have a lot of pride. And that's kind of how you're raised, the way you carry yourself, the way people see you and all of that. So coming out and talking about your infertility, I don't know if that will be happening soon.
This conversation starts from home. Okay, there's fertility check. Let both of us go check. Make it a family activity. You can go get checked and then afterwards you can go to dinner. Don't make it this, it's a hospital and we're going to check our fertility.
I don't see how that works.
Make it a date.
You go check your fertility and
then you go to dinner, yeah.
And you
afterwards.
go there and they tell you have low sperm count.
Well, they won't tell you.
How are you going to go to dinner? How is the dinner going to taste?
They won't tell you immediately now. They will do a test, I think, and then...
Well, I don't know how the process works, but I imagine that a lot of tests, you might be able to get your results within minutes.
Don't wait for the results. Do the test and go have dinner and face it tomorrow.
I don't think you'll be able to have dinner after such test. You'll probably be frowning after the test and have the time asking yourself, God, why me? I think male infertility discourse should be something that should be encouraged.
Yeah, I think so.
Because really, think about it. Recently, there's been rise about DNA saga.
That's right.
I just found out the kids ain't mine. Mm-hmm. But when you guys were struggling to have kids, did you try to check to see if something was wrong? Maybe you could have gotten help, or maybe even go into that whole process of having children, knowing that you've accepted your fate, you can't make kids, and now you're looking for help to be able to have your children, rather than believing that you are the odogu, you are the this, you are the that, only to find out 10 years later that actually your gate man was the odogu at the time.
Okay, I agree. Yeah, normalize those conversations. The truth is, all children come from God.